children of tender years should be believed unless there's compelling evidence to the contrary. That should be the starting point. When children disclose, okay, the first thing you look at is the circumstances, and you believe the children. That's you cannot start with a presumption that there's malice or fabrication or coaching. If you start with that lens, you will never get a proper child-sensitive analysis. So that's the absolute key starting point. Every child sexual abuse allegation must be taken very, very seriously, particularly if you have very young children disclosing in graphic details. And for the ministry to have not only ignored the initial disclosures and not having properly investigated initial disclosures, but later on, when mom was frantically trying to convince the ministry that these sexual abuse allegations were real, they basically labeled her as crazy. And the more she protested, the more she was labeled as being crazy. It's a horrific nightmare.
What do you think should be done now by the VPD?
Well, there should be an internal investigation, and they should revamp their sexual abuse investigations completely. It is the height of negligence for anyone from the police to say that there is absolutely no evidence. I can see certainly saying there's insufficient evidence to lead to criminal charges, but that's how it has to be framed. I have zero doubt that the sexual abuse happened. It was certainly proven on a balance of probabilities. And what would be truly wonderful if there was a criminal investigation and there would be charges laid against Mr. G. Over and over again, I've heard that, oh, Mr. G is such a nice guy. You know, the children like him. They have a good relationship with him. And somehow that is a basis for concluding that he couldn't have sexually abused the children. It is absurd. I mean, you have priests who have sexually abused children. You have, senior coaches who are very charming, very successful. And to somehow use that as a basis for concluding that the sexual abuse didn't occur is completely bizarre. The public needs to know more about child sexual abuse. It is absolutely critical that people understand how difficult and complicated these cases are. And the starting point is believe children. That is the starting point. If you at any time have questions and you want to investigate, that's fine. But you start with the presumption that if children are disclosing, they have a right to be heard. They have a right to cry out for help. In this case, the children disclosed, mom did everything she possibly could, and the more she cried for help, the more she was labeled as being crazy.